Welcome to Decrypting Mr. Robot. I'm Sadie Guinness, and this week I'm joined with Liam Matthews.
Spoiler alert, I'm in jail right now.
And Tim Surratt.
Hello, friends.
So last night's episode was huge. You guys have been calling it since the premiere that Elliot's been incarcerated this whole time. But Liam, why do you think Elliot is actually in jail?
I think it's something that happened in the 3 days after the hack that he doesn't remember. But I don't think it was anything violent or necessarily even hack related.
Tim, do you have any other theories?
Michael, Chris's ex-boyfriend, was threatening to press charges for hacking him and called the cops. And those cops were the people who you heard knocking on the door at the end of this first season.
Oh, man.
I think you're probably right with that one.
Yeah.
But the scene that stood out the most to me in the episode was by far when Leon went nuts on that gang of dudes. Who is Leon really? Tim, do you have any guesses?
First of all, I'm shocked that he's real. I thought he was fake the whole time. I think he was in jail. White Rose reached out to him and said, hey, you protect Elliot, I'll get you out of jail. And that's exactly what happened.
What do you think, Liam?
The whole thing was crazy, so just throwing it out there, I think he is the Dark Army's resident ninja. I think he was placed in there to protect Elliot, and then when things went wrong, he busted out his crazy ninja skills, killed everybody. He's a master of martial arts and Seinfeld.
So this episode did answer a lot of questions, but it also raised an even bigger one, which is, did Mr. Robot really kill Terrell? Liam, what do you think?
I think definitely not. I think Mr. Robot is lying to Elliot about killing Tyrell, just because there's so much evidence that he's still alive. There's the gifts that Joanna is getting, there's the phone call earlier in the season, and during his fantasy last week, we saw him in the trunk. It just seemed like an Inception sort of thing where there's another level of mental hiding.
What do you think, Tim?
I'm not even convinced that he actually shot him. I think maybe Mr. Robot wants Elliot to focus on the next step, and so he's just going with, let's just end this Tyrell business and say we shot him and maybe he's dead.
All right, so it's everyone's favorite time of the episode, Fact or Fantasy. I'm gonna throw out 3 things from last night's episode, and you have to guess whether they were real or imagined. First one, Ray's entire storyline. Fact or Fantasy, Liam?
I think it's fact. I think he's the warden of the jail and he's running this Silk Road sort of thing on the side.
What do you think, Tim?
Liam, you're right. He's definitely fact. And I agree with you. I think he's a warden or a high-level security guard there, and he's got his own office and brings Elliot in.
Fact or Fantasy, Joanna's divorce, Liam?
I think that's fact, just because we know so little about what Joanna is doing and what her motivations are, that getting divorced from Tyrell could be part of her plan. Like, if she has to testify against him, she'll be able to.
What do you think, Tim?
I'm going with fantasy. They seem like the couple that stays together through thick and thin because they're both wacko. I think Derek is just a bartender. She wants someone who can get her to the next level in society, and that's Tyrell Wellick.
All right, for all the Bitcoins, Philip Price's birthday, Liam?
That is fantasy because he was never really born. He just kind of hatched. He just kind of slithered out of the ooze. So, doesn't count.
Tim?
Liam, I love your theory, but I'm going to go with a little easier one here and say fantasy because if I was in a room with Portia Doubleday, I might lie and say it's my birthday to try to get her to get drinks with me too.
All right, the winner is Lizard Man Philip Price.
Oh, he's a reptilian.
He wins everything.
Thank you guys so much for joining me, and we'll be back next week for more Decrypting Mr. Robot.